Hi guys, I'm back with another video. So welcome back to the Addicted Bookworm. Happy Sunday everybody. 2 more days and I start my first day at my job. So I am very excited about it. I'm looking forward to learning new things and meet new people and meet new customers and all that type of stuff. I'm hoping and praying I don't drop people's sodas. That is my fear, that I'm going to drop people's sodas. Especially the fact that they're in a car. Alright, so anyways, so today I got my second Robin Hobb book, it's the Royal Assassin. So if I happen to like this book, I will go ahead and buy it as a physical edition. That is just a given. So the point why I made that comment is that I am going to be once again diving headfirst into fantasy. I took a break from fantasy. Well, not as. Let me rephrase that. I took somewhat of a break from fantasy, but I do have fantasy books that I want to read, so I'm going to read them. So I'm really excited about it. Every time that I see a book from BookBub, I always see like, hey, what new book do you have that I might be interested in? And sometimes I won't get anything from them because none of the titles interest me, and I delete the email. And sometimes I will find something there that I feel like that I will enjoy. All these books I get from either Kindle or from with physical. They're all books that I really do want to read. So I'm doing that, and I'm almost done with Vampire on the Orient Express. I'm currently on 68%, so I should have that book read probably by, because I read like 2 chapters a day in that book, so probably sometime this week coming up I will have that book done. I'm going to kind of like not read his next book for a bit, mainly because I want to sit down and read all these fantasy books that I got, so I can transfer them over. I got this one. This was free. Sorry. This is the Liberator's Medallion. It just looks really good, and I'm really like super excited about reading that one. I did get the book Powder Burn. I was somewhere and I said that I couldn't show it because I didn't realize you could flip the camera over. I'm back to reading my Southern Sweet Witch one. I'll have that book read by the end of this week coming up. I also picked up a book called The Girl of Dorsha Wood. Here, with the wolf head. That looks really good. That looks really good. Typhoid Mary. I still cannot get over that. That right there. It looks like a zombie one. Yeah. So. Yeah. So I also got a bunch of I also got some fantasy books on my Nook. But the reason that I want to like read up all my fantasy books is because I plan on to have another like, I take it back. I'm going to take one of the folders I already have done and transfer all my e-book fantasy books on there. So there was a I got an email from Amazon. No, not to get me to buy anything. No, not to remind me that we miss you on Prime, but to basically to tell me there's some books that are going to be released this month. Later on this month, I believe it's the 26th that's going to happen. If I get paid this week coming up, because I don't know what day I get paid, but if I get paid this week coming up, I'm going to pick it up. So there's 2 books I'm interested in, that I'm really interested in, that I really want to pick up, and everything. So they are Bad Day by Ellery Lloyd, and I'll read the synopsis to you, and you decide if you think this is a really good book. Faye Roper is a divorced single mom and globally famous actress. She's also unlucky in love, maybe because the last thing Faye wants is a man is yet another superfan, but somehow every time she has a boyfriend who isn't a stalker, he abruptly disappears from her life. With the help of her best friend, right-hand woman Poppy, Faye decides to change the game and join an exclusive new dating app under a false identity. A subscriber named Oliver takes the bait, but Oliver likes to play games too, and only one of them can win. That is awesome. It's a first read, so it's like $1.99. This one is The First Witch of Boston, a novel by Andrea Catalino. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So this is about a woman named Margaret. I didn't click on the book, but I did click the book on, so that's how I know her name is Margaret. So in the not early, but like close to the middle of the 1600s, a woman called Margaret and her husband arrived apparently from England to the New World, and she is a caretaker. I don't know what she does. And what happens is, as time progresses on, there's people that whisper that she happens to be a witch, and she is arrested and found guilty of being a witch. I don't really know much about Margaret as a historical figure, but the fact that she is classified as the First Witch of Boston, or because the book is entitled First Witch of Boston, I'm going to guess that she is the first woman in Massachusetts to be charged and found guilty of witchcraft. I don't even know what happened to her, which is why I'm really interested in reading this book. Because when I was up in I lived up in Massachusetts, guys. I did. For about, I think it was about 11 years I lived up there. So yeah, I was in my maybe mid-20s, little towards late 20s when I moved up to Massachusetts from another Commonwealth called Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania definitely had a very different kind of history to it. But in Massachusetts, so one of the books that my brother had to read, this is a requirement to graduate. He had to read. I don't even remember what year he read it. It was called The Crucible by Arthur Miller. And he had to read it as part of what he had to do. And this is back when people actually read books. Weird enough. And you know, he brought it home, and he didn't want to read it. He didn't want to read the book. And I told Stephen, I said, why do you have to read this book? And he's like, well, I got to read this book because it's a requirement to get my credit that I need to graduate. I said, well, do you want to graduate? He goes, whoa, yeah, read the book. They're not asking you to rebuild the Leaning Tower. No, they're not asking you to rebuild the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. They're just telling you to read a book. So he kind of didn't understand why the Crucible was so important. And I was like, okay, look, listen up, okay? Do you know what the Red Scare was? And he's like, yeah. Okay. Now you know why the Crucible was written. So, for people that don't know, the Crucible was written by Arthur Miller during the Red Scare. I believe he was very vocal about the Red Scare, about McCarthyism. And so he wrote it, and he based it on the Salem witchcraft trials. And this was to spoon feed a lesson to them that what is going on here happened before, and unlike before, nobody's actually going to die. But it was a lesson that everyone had to learn. So my mother actually made him sit down and read The Crucible. And I was very proud of her. She was like, well, I don't like reading, but I want you to graduate. So he had to read it. And then he had to do a report. Oh my God. And we didn't have ChatGPT back then. We did not. We did not. This was early 2000s. But anyways, so he learned a lesson. He learned, hey, if you're told to do something, do it. Long as it's legal. Long as it's legal. So I'm really interested in reading The First Witch of Boston. I like historical fiction. I know some people are like, oh, we have enough historical fiction. Sometimes it's good to have a lot of it. That way you have lots of lessons that you need to learn. Anyways, so I'm doing that. I'm definitely going to be reading a lot more fantasy. Even when I am, like, no longer buying physical books, I will still be buying digital fantasy books. Alright, so anyways, that is my goal for this fall, is to read a lot more fantasy. I love fantasy. Fantasy is so awesome. And yep, so I am going to leave you at that. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I will see you next time. Bye.